All right, so I am getting quite the education on alpacas, but during the break you mentioned something that caught my attention about when they actually have their babies and also how they poop. Let's start with the babies. So they're a certain time of year?
Well,
or
no, actually,
certain months?
No, you can actually have an alpaca any time of the year.
Oh, okay.
They're stimulated ovulators, so you can kind of plan the birthing.
Oh.
It's 11 to 12 months gestation, and then 3 weeks later they get pregnant again.
Whoa.
And they'll live for about 20 years.
Okay.
And so they'll have 14 to 16 babies in their lifetime.
Man alive.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so getting to the other part, as babies, Connie, you said they all have a designated restroom area, trying to put it politely, and that is known by the babies even.
Right,
They know where
it makes
to go.
it really easy to clean up because they do go in certain piles in the farmyard, and it makes it real easy to keep it clean, and they don't contaminate the entire pasture.
Yeah.
But the wonderful thing about alpaca manure is that you don't have to compost it. You can use it right away on your garden, and the gardeners absolutely love it. We were telling you the story of our neighbor who's used alpaca manure for a couple of years, and last year at one of the local fruit stands he was showing off his over 5-pound onion.
Yeah, 5 pound. I'd hate to have to be the person to chop up that onion. I
Okay.
seriously would. So on the Fruit Loop, because you guys participate in that every summer, and obviously that's got to be a full-time job in and of itself because there is a lot of interest in these animals. What do you think is the most common thing people say when they come to your farm? Is it, I had no idea you could do this, or what do people say? What's their response?
What's the difference between an alpaca and a llama?
Really?
That's
Do they
mostly.
spit?
That's
You get that?
That's a big
another
one.
common
Yeah.
one. And of course, we want to assure them that they're not going to spit on them, that the llamas are the more aggressive animals because they were bred to be guard animals. And so and they've been in the United States, llamas have been in the U.S. 20 years longer than the alpaca. So people are a little more familiar with the llama than they are the alpaca.
And the llamas, and correct me if I'm wrong, because the llamas, which you have a few llamas as guards for your herd. Okay, so I just want to make sure. So they can cohabitate just fine.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Are they as clean as far as the same
habits?
Same habits. Interesting.
You know, because in high Andes, there's not a lot of vegetation. And so they've learned over the generations that there's not a lot to eat. So they don't go everywhere where there's vegetation, so they've learned to kind of control that, so they have enough food to make it through.
That's fascinating. Yeah. So obviously you guys have fallen in love with these animals, and you've created quite a successful business with it, and you have your yarn shop, and you also sell the tools, if I can call them that are necessary for folks who have that skill to be able to create their own scarves or socks or whatever. What's your long-term plan? How do you have time to do anything else?
Well, Thomas's full-time job is the alpacas, the ranch, and the yarn shop. That keeps him very busy. And in the winters, when it does slow down a little bit, he's not working out in the pastures as much, he does make products for the shop. This is a hand-woven scarf that Thomas has made on a baby wolf weaving loom. And he's also weaving rugs. We're really happy that we can take the less desirable parts of the fleece, the belly and the leg hair, and we make rugs out of them. So we're using all the parts of the fleece. Okay. So he does that in the winters, and he's extremely busy summer and fall. And as we mentioned, I work for Kaiser Permanente full-time, and I really enjoy that job. I'm privileged that I can telecommute, and I drive in 1 day a week into Lake Oswego, which is pretty nice.
Yeah, not
pretty
bad
nice.
At all.
I love the team that I work with, so I'm planning to continue working there until I'm retirement age, which is 7 or 8 more years.
Okay.
And then I'll be able to help Thomas with the alpacas and in the yarn shop.
So is this something you both see yourself doing then as long as you can?
Yeah, it's very relaxing. I
Really?
mean, it's not a lot of hard work. I mean, to clean up the barns and the animals takes an hour, maybe 2 hours. We do have a couple of people work for us through the summer during the Fruit Loop times from June through October. To go back a little bit, I also spin. That's kind of my,
yes.
okay.
I forgot to mention that.
Well, that's okay. Spinning is kind of like my therapy. It's really relaxing to spin yarn. I mean, if you're going full blast all the time, it's kind of nice to sit back and meanwhile you're making something kind of fun.
So that is some of his
So that's some of my
hand-spun yarn.
hand-spun yarn that I found.
So, Thomas, I'm sorry, but I'm not sure, what's spinning? I'm thinking of like, my mind jumps to getting on a bike and doing one of those exercise programs. I know that's not what you mean. So is this the big old wheel that,
Yes.
like Cinderella or whoever it was pricked her finger on?
Exactly.
That type of thing?
Right, right.
In fact, we have an alpaca named Princess Aurora, and she's the one who pricked her finger on the spinning wheel.
Okay, okay.
Yes.
So when you spin it, then, like, is this something?
That's pure alpaca. It's right off two different animals, a black animal and a brown animal. And you spin one ply and then on a bobbin, and then you fill up another bobbin with another color or the same color. And then you'll turn the spinning wheel the opposite way, and you apply the two single yarns together to make two-ply yarn.
Okay, so somebody would buy that then to knit something
Oh,
together
yes.
or whatever. Okay,
Exactly.
So that in and of itself, that's like a.
That's about 100 yards.
Okay. Do you guys have kids?
Oh, yes.
Do they get involved with this?
Yes, our youngest will be 30 this year. I'm telling on you, Reuben. And he loves to knit. Our daughter does too. But he loves to knit hats. In fact, he created what we call an ear flap hat pattern, where it's a hat and there's a flap down here and it has the strings.
Oh,
Have you
yeah.
seen those kind of
Yeah,
hats?
sure.
And it sells like hotcakes in our shop. And our friend Judy knits those hats, and we sell them to the visitors. But Reuben, our son, made the pattern, and his wife also knits, so we're a family of knitters.
Okay. We had Not Another Hat, the gal from Not Another Hat on, and she did a really good job because she got me to actually be able to do a little bit of knitting. Never picked up knitting needles, and she said I did pretty good. It was actually kind of fun. So I can see where people. Do you guys have guys that come in and they're buying this stuff?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they spin. I've taught men to spin as well as women, because men need to relax too. Like Thomas was saying, it's his therapy wheel. It slows them down and calms them down, and the feel of the fiber going through your fingers is very meditative.
So actually, I had a lady come in, and I said, this is my therapy wheel, and she started laughing, and I said, well, why are you laughing? She says, well, I'm a therapist, and I actually have a wheel in my office.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, something about the wheel turning.
The circular motion, she said.
Does something to your brain that makes you calm down. That's
Interesting. So if somebody wanted to start doing that, you could sell them a wheel.
Yes.
What's something like that cost?
It ranges from $400, $500 up to $600, $700.
Okay.
There's different type of wheels.
And then they could actually buy the raw fiber from you and then spin it into what we see here.
And then knit it into sweaters and scarves and mittens or whatever.
We have a friend owns Enchanted Alpacas in Hood River, and they do the end products. They have coats and jackets and large blankets, and she's got her own line of alpaca that she has now in Hood River. That's pretty exciting. That she designed, and so she sends everybody up to who wants the yarn and that part up to us, and people who want the jackets and the sweaters and the skirts and everything, we send them down to Enchanted Alpacas.
Cool.
So we work together in that
That's
regard.
great. That's
Yes.
great. That's especially important in these small communities too, to network that way. Well, you guys, it's been a pleasure. I really appreciate you coming on, explaining more about alpacas, and now I know that they take care of business in one area and they aren't going to spit on me, and so sound pretty safe. So you guys, thank you.
Thank you very much.
I don't know if I can quite reach all the way over there.
Thank you.
But appreciate it. So you guys, thanks again for watching. We will see you next time right here on Localite.
Do you have a guest idea? Let us know. Go to localite.com.